Hey y'all, excuse me coming to y'all. Lock my lashes, but y'all'll be okay. I ain't got no clothes on either. I'm a little sad. I'm just tired of dealing with men. Now y'all know I was on top of the world last time. I was talking about that new guy I met, or I had reconnected with and had never met, but met in person recently. And I really liked him. First over text, all those months ago, I really did like him. He seemed like a likable person, cool, down to earth. I liked him. And then when we finally met in person, it was just like a connection. And I'm so glad I didn't have sex with him. And I want to be clear, I'm okay. I'm going to always be okay, but every time something goes left with a guy, it just triggers feelings of dysphoria, of inadequacy, of loneliness. Because truth be told, this last guy who I just called everything off with, he didn't do anything wrong. And I can admit that. He can't control how I feel and how my emotions are set up. That's not his problem. But see, this is the part where I said before, I believe I said before on my channel, before you can start calling yourself trying to find love, you better find that love inside of yourself first. Because you'll find yourself in situations like these, where a situation that was not even that serious, a situation that was very fresh, and there were no ties, both parties were able to walk away at any time. When that can trigger such negative emotions inside of you, some of that has to do with self-love. And I can admit that. Oftentimes, with me dealing with men that may be attracted to trans women or transgenders, but most of the time they deal with females, I automatically feel like I have to keep my guard up because he can leave me at any time. Because I just feel like he may not be sure what he wants. He may just be doing this in passing. He may lie to me. I just never know. And so my own insecurities, my own thoughts hold me back from really being able to just enjoy the moment. Me and him enjoyed a lot of moments together. And we borderline got very intimate. Nothing sexual, but intimate, you know. And I felt a connection with him because I started to really like him as a person. I wasn't in love with him. I was just at the point where I was really starting to open up my mind to seeing him as somebody who could potentially be somebody important in my life. So basically, like I said, we met up the first night. He wanted to kiss, and I just said, I think we should hold off. He wanted to cuddle, and I did, you know, I was comfortable enough to cuddle with him. So we cuddled, and I enjoyed it. You know, I did enjoy it. I like to cuddle. I had a man in the house with me, and it felt good. But I couldn't shake the thought that this man, who was a sweetheart, a gentleman, all of those things, even to this day, he has never dropped the ball when it came to that. I couldn't shake the thought that with him telling me he was DL, that I still had to have my guard up and not fully put my trust in him. And also consider he may just really want sex and playing the part he needs to play. And he may not even be playing a part. He may just be vibing with me. He may really not mind getting to know me. But the underlying intent may just be to have sex, to have someone that he can be sexual with. So I did get that vibe. The second night he came, I felt as though I needed to keep my guard up again, because if we were cuddling the night before and I let him touch on my butt, and I touched on his dick, he might have thought that he would be able to get even further the second night. And the second night, we didn't cuddle in bed. We just sat on the sofa. I played in his hair. We listened to music and vibed out. And I found myself really liking him as a person, liking him as a potential future boyfriend or something, or as a future lover. I started seeing qualities in him that I really liked, and that I became more and more attracted to. But still, nothing happened the second night. I teased him a little bit, but that was it. So he left. He didn't stay nearly as long as the first time. And that could have been because he's like, okay, I'm here with her now. We did what we did yesterday, so things should surely pick up today, and they're not picking up. So it's no need for me to stick around. So he left. And I didn't really hear from him that much. He was saying that when I texted him, today, no, I texted him yesterday. He was like, I'm at work. And he was like, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah. And so I was like, my bad, I'm sorry, I didn't know you was at work. I'll just talk to you later. And so I called him this morning. And he had missed my call. He called me back. I missed his call. So I called him back, and he sounded really sleepy. He was like, yeah, what's up? When we first started talking again, he sent a good morning text. I didn't get none of that. Those, the past 1 or 2 days, it was just different. I said, yeah, you've been a stranger. I haven't heard from you. And so he was like, yeah, I just been busy. I've been working. So oftentimes I come home from work, I just eat and then go straight to sleep. But this is my thing. When a nigga's really interested in you, he shows it. And I'm talking about beyond just sexually. He shows it. He makes time. And I just got the feeling that he was mainly interested in coming to see me at nighttime. And so, he was like, I'm trying to get some rest before work. And I said, okay, I'll just talk to you later. I didn't mean to wake you up. And I think that's my first, I've been trying to work on that. Y'all noticed that, right? Trying to take my time talking. But he texted me around 7 or 8 tonight. And I had kind of been missing him, but I said to myself, I was like, just chill out. Let him text you back. So he had texted me, hey. And I knew what that meant. I knew that they probably had called off his work for the day. He works in construction. And I said, hey, you must have not went into work or something like that. And he was like, yeah, our guy called it off last minute. So I tried to call him. I heard he was in a car with a whole bunch of people. And so I said, you want me to just text you? And he was like, yeah. And he told me he was heading back to the site with his coworkers, but that he would be bored tonight because he had nothing to do. And he'd just be home. And I was like, oh, I knew what this was leading to because I wanted it to lead to, and I knew what he wanted it to lead to. He wanted it to lead to him coming over tonight since he was off. And so I was like, oh, that's sad. Like that. And so his question then was, what you up to tonight? what you got planned for tonight? And I was like, nothing, just chilling, straightening up. And he was like, sounds fun. So I'm still playing into it. He's still playing into it. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not fun. I said, but you know it is fun. And he's like, what's fun? And I was like, you tell me. I'm flipping it back on him. And he said, I don't know. And so I was like, it's so petty. We joking back and forth. And he was like, what? You thought I was going to say fucking? And I was like, no. Is that what's on your mind? And so his answer was, it depends. So bingo. That's kind of like my assumption summed up. You know, he is interested in sex in a way. Which is not a problem if you're upfront about it and stuff like that. And it's not that he hasn't been upfront about it, but he also has stated, I'm willing to get to know you. He knew what type of time I was on. So that triggered me to say to him, because it kind of confirmed my thoughts in my head that this is more of sort of like a sexual thing to him more than anything. Yes, he may be able to befriend me and be sweet and kind and such a gentleman, but what is the underlying intent? And I believe it to be sex. And so I said, to be honest, if I can confess, when you were here and I was rubbing through your dreads and we was vibing to the music and stuff, I found myself more attracted to you. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, but I still have a wall up. So this is leading into what I needed it to get off my chest. And I was like, to be honest, I'm an emotional person and I'm not really interested in sex unless I have a connection. And I said, if you're just looking to fuck, there's plenty of girls out there that can do that for you. But I am more so relationship oriented. So his answer was, I'm not necessarily looking to fuck, but I'm also not looking for anything serious. To be honest, I'm still not over my ex. Right then and there, I knew that the way my mind, my emotions, my heart is set up, I knew that he didn't do anything wrong. But because I know how I can allow myself to get, I had to end it. Abruptly. I just had to end it. So what I said at that point is, oh wow, I didn't know that. You were such a gentleman. You are a sweetheart. You're a really cool person. But I think it's best if we leave things where they're at. And it was very nice meeting you. And he texted back and he said, okay, it was nice meeting you too. And he probably thought it was funny. I think he used like a laughing emoji because it probably caught him off guard that I just cut things off like that. And y'all, I know that it was probably crazy for me to cut things off so fast because we were not so serious to the point that it was even necessary for me to cut him off. I could have just kept vibing with him. But I knew that if I kept vibing with him, there was potential for me to fall for him in a serious way. And if he's not over his ex, there was potential for me to get hurt. The fact of the matter is I'm afraid to get hurt. I'm afraid to be vulnerable a lot of times. Even though I'm this honest person that lays everything out on the table, vulnerability when it comes to trusting your heart with somebody, and that's a lot of trust to put into somebody. And I didn't want to just keep hanging around him and keep, having these feelings that I was having. And it was potential. There was a possibility that he could have had feelings for me too. It could have grew, but I'm not here to help you get over your ex. Because truth be told, if she calls you back, you could leave me high and dry. Or truth be told, I could just be something late night to get your sexual urges out. A little cuddle buddy. I could be a Netflix and chill type person in your mind. So you can play like this limbo. You can play like this limbo of, I don't really want a relationship, but I'm not just looking to fuck. I don't mind getting to know you. But the truth of the matter is you may just want to have sex with me whenever you can. But you don't truly see me as somebody who you want to settle down with, or that you would be okay being out in the open with. That's why something told me you have to listen to the fact that he said something about him being DL. And you have to listen to the fact that he mentioned that oftentimes the transgenders are the ones that give him more play. And he called himself and he said, it's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but that's the transgenders give me more play than females. And I don't know why. So in my mind, when a nigga says that, he's thought about it like, okay, this might be a cool alternative for the moment. I have to guard my heart. Because my heart is very fragile. I don't want a nigga that belongs to anybody. I don't want a nigga that is not over anybody. I want a nigga that sees me for everything that I am. I want a nigga that when I'm around him, I forget that I'm transgender and that I'm just Dee. I'm just me. And he doesn't make me feel any type of way about that. He doesn't make me feel lesser. He doesn't have to meet me only at nighttime. He wants to be around me and not worry about what nobody else has to say. I always envisioned a relationship where it's just me and that person against the whole world. And fortunately, this guy may have not been that person, and I was able to cut things short. But at the same time, I do recognize, y'all, that with me cutting things so short, so fast, I could have potentially messed up a good friendship, relationship. Who's to say he could have just got rid of that whole DL persona? This guy, he told me he doesn't mind going to the movies. He doesn't mind going out. It's just that people don't know. But to me, that's 50-50 for me to just fully immerse myself in him. On one hand, I really do appreciate him being straightforward with me in some regards. On the other hand, I just really wish that he would have been able to completely live in his truth. I want a man that's gonna stand firm and say, yeah, I'm with Didi. Who got something to say about it? Anybody had a problem? I want a man like with that type of energy. Craziness and all, flaws and all. I'm a masterpiece. I'm something to be sought after. I'm a prize. And I know this. And I want a man to recognize that. If I can't have a man that recognizes that and that respects me and loves me in such a pure way, I don't want it. Tonight was really more so like a diary for me, because I needed to hear myself just talk this situation out and realize, one, how crazy it is for me to put my all in some regard, but to recognize the healing that I need to handle within myself. I don't need a relationship, honestly. I need to work on myself. I need to get myself together, build myself up. And I don't need a man for that.